Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Fruit Rot. Today we're going to be talking about the banana massacre. Before we get started, hi, I'm Kokokurumi, your local fruit bat with a taste for drama. And today we're going to be peeling back the layers of something way darker than overripe bananas. We're talking about how a fruit company got so powerful, they had workers shot to death. They died. Like, for real. Like, this is not a joke. This is not a drill. I know it's very sad. Also, if I'm smiling and laughing during this, I do apologize. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm just a very smiley person. And I smile a lot when I talk. And I also try to make light of situations when they get a little uncomfortable. So I'm not trying to be insensitive. Basically, in the early 1900s, the United Fruit Company, like UFC, but like not like the fighters, you know? I'm sorry, UFC. I love Chuck Liddell. Actually, on a side note, I saw Chuck Liddell once at the doctor's office one time when I used to live in California. And then the other day, I was on Instagram and I saw that one of my friends saw Chuck Liddell out like renting a U-Haul. He's just out there doing normal stuff, which is so cool. I love him. He's so cool. UFC, United Fruit Company, better known as Chiquita nowadays, was the banana empire. They weren't just selling fruit. They were running railroads, owning all the land around them. They were the banana superpower. They controlled all the lands, shipping lines, and basically the economy of several Latin American countries. These places became what we now call banana republics. And that sounds cute, but it's not. It basically means that a country where foreign corporations like UFC own everything that matters. In Colombia, UFC, not the fighting kind, owned a lot of banana plantations. Workers, many of them indigenous or Afro-Colombian, were underpaid, overworked, and denied the most basic rights. No contracts, no benefits. Like, what am I working for? If I'm going to be working so many hours a week, why would I not have benefits? What are you, a streamer? You don't have health insurance? You can't give them health insurance? That's fucking crazy. They were paid in company coupons. Like, they were paid. Can I repeat that for you? They were paid in company coupons. That's insane. That's actually the most insane part about this whole thing. Well, no, it's not. People died. No, it's not. But I've never heard of anything like that. They weren't paid in real money. Like, imagine breaking your back in 100-degree heat in Colombia and getting paid in monopoly money in return. I would lose my mind. How this all started was back in November 1928. Banana workers in the Magdalena region organized a massive strike. They didn't want to get paid in monopoly money anymore. They wanted real money instead of store coupons, 8-hour work days. All right. They wanted to work 6 days a week instead of 7 and have actual real days off. Like, they wanted medical care, compensation for injuries, and respect. Real scandalous shit. I feel like if somebody's breaking their back for your company and you're paying them in company coupons and, you know, making them work more than 8 hours a week, you don't respect them. And if you even heard out a few of these complaints, it would be a big step towards respect. But anyways, around 30,000 workers joined, give or take 30,000. That's allegedly what it is because there's no real record of this. And I'm not an investigative journalist, so if I get anything wrong, let me know below. But nobody actually knows how many people, but it said 30,000 people joined. UFC was like, you guys want money and medical care? No. They low-key panicked, but it wasn't just them. The US was involved. US ambassador in Colombia literally warned that the strike could be communist influence, like the big communist scare. Everyone's so afraid of socialism. So American interests pushed for the government to do something about it. They were like, they're rebelling. They want rights. They want respect. These are communists, obviously. So what do you do when workers want fair treatment? Well, if you're the UFC and the Colombian elite, you bring in the army. You don't negotiate with terrorists, apparently. You don't negotiate with the people you hired. So you bring in the army. You don't want to talk to them. This went on for a while, and then on December 5th, same year, 1928, Colombian military surrounded a group of strikers gathered in the town of Ciénaga. Families there, kids, they're all waiting to hear back about negotiatings. Remember, they've been striking since November. And instead, the army shows up, right? Airs the place out. They opened fire, legitimately opened fire on unarmed striking workers. The official reports say that 47 people died, and that's just the official report. But witnesses and historians estimate it could have been up to 2,000. 2,000 workers that were striking for rights and like what we have now, you know, 8-hour work weeks, medical care, getting paid in real money. That's really fucked up. This is like, I just don't understand. We get taught history in class, and I understand that, like, you know, I'm from Nocturnia, I'm new to America, so I don't really get it, but like, I feel like this is something that they should probably be teaching in terms of like, hey, you're taking a business class, right? Why don't you learn about these horrible other companies so that you could do better? Do they do that? Do they do that here? Any business majors? Can you let me know? What was I saying? The victims were unfortunately buried in mass graves. Some bodies were reportedly thrown into the sea. That's actually messed up. They weren't buried with anyone. They were just disposed of like garbage. It was violent, it was brutal, and it was covered up for decades. And what happened to USC? You're wondering, hey Coco, did they flame this company? Did they cancel them? You know, did Colombia strike back? You know, no. They didn't have cancel culture. Nobody did anything. It was covered up for decades, and United Fruit stayed rich. The workers died silent, forgotten. This wasn't just a labor issue. It was a political nightmare. The Banana Massacre radicalized a whole generation of Colombians. It deepened their distrust of the government. It became a symbol of the exploitation faced by Latin American workers. And United Fruit would just go on to meddle in more countries. I don't feel like we should be giving a corporation any business if they killed 2,000 of their workers for striking and going on strike, you know, for things that we have now. They earned themselves the nickname El Pulpo, the octopus, for how many hands they had in everything. Like UFC was like, you're selling bananas, I'm involved. Other countries, I'm involved. Look at our banana republic. It's successful and it's making a lot of money. You know, don't mind the 2,000 people we dumped into the ocean. Don't worry about it. But they officially changed their name to Chiquita. It's like a cute little rebrand, you know? Its legacy includes decades of political manipulation, bribery, and environmental destruction. You know, aside from the murders. They kind of just like didn't talk about it. So the next time that you see a banana at the store, remember that it comes with a lot of baggage. And I hope that it doesn't ruin your favorite fruit. You know, bananas are still cool, but remember that behind the banana, there's a story that deserves to be told and heard. And 2,000 people died. So, but that's not on you. But like, just remember that their story deserves to be told. I can't believe there's a banana with a body count. I'd like, other than wine killing the Romans, which we'll talk about next time. What fruit should we investigate next? Like, what other fruit is killing people? I'm trying to, like, it's not just about fruit killing people. I want to know about just like the weird history of fruit. Tell me below. I would love some suggestions. And maybe we'll rot on that one too. If you want the receipts, by the way, I'll have a full list of sources in the description. I highly recommend you guys read Gabriel García Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude. So in his book, he describes a fictionalized version of the massacre based on the stories that he heard growing up in Colombia. His account is actually what helped popularize and preserve the memory of the massacre and getting the truth out. Anyways, I'm Kokokurumi, and that was Fruit Rot, where we don't just talk about history, we bite into it. Bye bye. Also, this is Coco editing the video, and I just thought I would come in here and also mention I had another thought. How could there be 30,000 people on strike and they only killed 26 on record. Like, what happened to the other 30,000? Did they get fired? Did they just quit? Did they not come back? Because it's a banana republic, so like everything is owned by the corporation. Is that the closest place to work? Did they go and get other jobs? Did they ever get reparations for like not having the basic human rights that we have now? I don't know. I was just wondering.